Activision? Crystal Dynamics? The Gek people? What could we possibly be playing? Oh, and Silicon Knights. We'll probably see them at least once or twice more. Yep. We are playing Blood Omen, the Legacy of Kain. Now, Blood Omen is an action-adventure game released in '96 for the PlayStation Entertainment System, and if I remember correctly, it was developed by Silicon Knights and distributed by Crystal Dynamics. Now, I have been wanting to play this game for a while, and we're going to jump in and just start playing.
There is a magical operation of maximum importance. The initiation of a new aeon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood.
Alright, I'm not going to say a whole lot during cutscenes like this and similar moments of dialogue, because the voice acting and the dialogue in this game are just spectacular.
Call your dogs! They can feast on your corpses!
For fulfilling the circle mallet of the Sunfan, you are hereby damned.
Now that might be a voice actor some of you are familiar with. That is the spectacular Tony J.
You have but one purpose, damned warrior. You will serve us for eternity.
Now, if I'm getting the names right, that suit of armor there is Malik. And he's voiced by Neil Ross, I think. He's famous for a number of voices, especially on G.I. Joe.
The tavern's closing. Best be on your way, stranger.
What? No mug of ale for a weary traveller from distant Corhagen? I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood.
I stay open for no man in these dark times. Things come with the night that no sane man would welcome.
And so I left, cold of heart and soul, forced to the road and the long, bitter night.
Alright, now normally I have enough sense to play these games beforehand to sort of familiarize myself with how to play them. If I especially have the time, I go through them. So that way it at least looks like I know what I'm doing. So I need to refamiliarize myself with the controls of the game. Now that's our hero, although hero is a bit of a strong word, Kain. Now we're playing in this top-down view. This is how we're going to play almost the entirety of the game. Now I'm moving around with the directional keys, left, right, up, down, and everywhere in between. And let's see if I can remember, what is that? X. There we go. Square is letting us swing our sword. That's all we can do right now. L, R, there we go. How do I get out of here? What was that? That was L2. Let's just take a look at the map. Select pauses it. And start should bring up our inventory screen. Maybe the inventory screen is later. Well, we cannot stay here in the tavern, so just have to leave. Unfortunately, one thing this game is known for is not having the best loading times. Uh-oh, we're besieged by bandits. Run, Kain, run!
Victor!
Well, while I'm sitting here fighting with bandits, might as well at least let you guys know I have a little bit of a history with this game. This was actually one of the first PlayStation games I ever played, and I was introduced to it by my buddy Joe. Now, at the time that we had played this, we did not have a memory card, and this is a very long action-adventure game. I might be doing a little bit too good. So, when we were playing the game, we would just turn it on and play for as long as we could until either we got too tired to keep playing or we had to stop. So we went through the beginning of the game a lot. Ah! And down we go.
Now!
There are a lot of games in the Blood Omen series.
Victors, suffering to the conquered. Ironic that now I was the one suffering. Not anything as pedestrian as physical pain, rather the cruel jab of impotent anger. The hunger for revenge. I didn't care if I was in heaven or hell. All I wanted was to kill my assassins. Sometimes you get what you wish for. The necromancer Mortanius offered me a chance for vengeance, and like a fool, I jumped at his offer without considering the cost. Nothing is free, not even revenge.
Yep, and now Kain is no longer a mere man.
You will have the blood you hunger for.
So I was mentioning that there are a number of games in the Blood Omen series.
I awoke to the pain of a new existence, in a dank womb of darkness and decay.
And not all of them have the name Blood Omen. The series includes the Blood Omen games and the Soul Reaver games. And I want to say there's like 6 or 7 of them off the top of my head. And I think I've played all but 3. I mean, all of 3. And one of them I didn't really like, so I never really went all the way through it. So I may be noticing things going through this that I have not noticed before, but were brought up in other games. But now we are a vampire. We are undead, and with it, we have new powers and abilities. So this time, select brings us to the options screen, and we're going to leave the options alone for the most part. And the start button, well, that brings us to our equipment screen. We don't have any goodies yet other
Iron
than
sword.
we have our iron sword
Iron armor.
and our iron armor. Now, I could have sworn we could get little descriptions about these items.
Iron armor. As it...
Oh, I almost did it.
Iron armor. As it was born from hellfire, forged by the necromancer's magic, my armor resists fire and provides me with strong defense.
Yes, so if I highlight the item and press circle,
Iron sword.
Kain will give us a little bit of information about the item.
Forged by the Cerioli, the legendary weapon masters of Nosgoth, this blade will serve me well in life and beyond.
Now, if I remember correctly, those little glyphs on the left side are Kain's magic, and he doesn't have any magic yet. Now, Kain, being a vampire, needs to feed on blood. And that's his health bar down there on the right side of the screen, that red vial. If we come back to his grave here, he'll get some of his health restored. Alright, so there's one of the switches that opened the door to this room, and there is our first spell.
The sanctuary spell enables me to travel to my crypt, where the soil of my grave provides me respite. I often resort to this when I am weak and need nourishment.
Now, we have to select our spell. Is it that over here? No, those are our items.
Sanctuary.
And we can choose where to put that spell.
The sanctuary spell enables me to travel to my crypt, where the soil of my grave provides me respite. I often resort to this when I am weak and need nourishment.
Now let's see if I can remember how to do that. If these loading times get really obnoxious, I'll probably narrow
Sanctuary.
them down. There we go, put it in the top.
Sanctuary.
There we go. That's how we can highlight what spells we want to use. Do we wish to seek sanctuary in Kain's mausoleum? I press the X button to try to use the spell. No, we're fine. There's our first enemy, a gravekeeper with a shovel. Now, I just fed from him. I hit him enough times to stun him, and then I hit the circle button to feed from him, which restores some of our health. Now, I was attacking very slowly, but we can combo our weapon.
Victus!
Although I want to be careful about that, because I don't want to kill these guys. Oh, look, a goodie.
Reputed to have been ripped from the chest of the greatest vampire to have ever existed, Janos Audron, the heart of darkness restores vampiric unlife. Life is precious, Janos discovered, as it was torn, throbbing and bleeding from his own body.
And that is our first item.
The heart
That will
of
restore
darkness.
our health, and we have one of them.
The heart of darkness.
You may have noticed there are these boulders in the way. Kain is kind of pushing them. Eventually we'll come across objects so large that Kain can't move them, but eventually he'll become strong enough to move them. Oh, I hear somebody crying.
This ancient vial bears with it a dark gift indeed, for with it my life force is increased.
Yes, that's the equivalent of our Legend of Zelda heart containers. We get more of those, our life bar gets longer and longer. Now this poor woman sitting here crying is a prisoner, and we can kill or feed from her anytime we like. It's also a full moon. We have day and night cycles in this game. During the night, Kain is more powerful. His attacks deal more damage, and I think he can take more abuse. During the daylight hours, he's less powerful. But unlike what we normally consider a vampire's, daylight doesn't just flat out kill him. There's another goodie.
These ancient symbols of power contain raw magical energy that increases my own capacity to summon energy for the spawning of spells.
And that is our magic power-up. On the right side of our, our screen over here, there's a crystal ball. And glyphs and runes will start to appear, and they'll head up towards that skull. Even Kain's portrait will change depending on the equipment he's using. Oh, there's a new enemy. That's a skeleton. Skeletons have no blood, so we can't feed from them. Now that orb, I think, was to restore our magic. Okay, here's something very important.
Within the walls of these chambers I could find respite, and if I so chose, resume my journey when my weariness abated.
These are our save points. So yes, let's save. Let's try card 2. If I remember correctly, these save points are also kind of like checkpoints, and we'll be able to travel fast from them at later points in the game. Now, like most action-adventure games, this is full of secrets. I think there's actually 100 of them. I don't know if that's recorded anywhere.
When rainfall comes, vampires are wise to find shelter from its acidic touch.
Nope, that's right, it's raining. If it's raining out, Kain gets damaged while being out in the rain. There we go. 100 secrets. We have not found any of them yet. 11 slayings. Yeah, because we killed a bunch of guys while we were still human. But we are still a whelp. We are a vampire whelp. Spend too much time out in the rain. Yep, you can see I'm starting to take damage. Oh, there's an item. We can't get that yet. There's another one. We'll have a chance a little later. Oh, there's another save point. We don't need it because we just saved. This is another mausoleum for us to check out. Skeleton warriors. Come here, you. Poor lady. Now, humans are not the only thing we can feed from. In fact, I'm so full that I'm overflowing. There are some enemies that when we feed from, it will restore our magic. There are some enemies that when we feed from, it will deal damage to us. And then, even some enemies that can poison us. Now, we don't have to feed. In fact, we can also feed from multiple targets at once. But I would probably say, more often than not, if you can feed, you might as well go for it. But yeah, like these skeletons that bleed green, don't drink that. Green is the bad drink. Ow. Yeah, these spikes, they'll hurt you if you walk into them, so be careful about that. I don't think that was the right combination. There we go. Okay, here we go, our next item.
These curious devices hurl bolts of whirling energy and eviscerate my human enemies by stripping ragged flesh from blood-stained bone.
So yeah, this item is mean. I forget what it's called. If I can press the right button, maybe we can look at it. Alright, here's the world map. We're the gold arrow. We want to get to the flashing blue pillars.
The heart of darkness. Flay.
Flay, okay. These items will essentially just auto-kill a mortal enemy.
Flay.
Great for destroying enemies if you just need to do it real fast. Not so great if you need to feed. Nope, that's the wrong button. More people to feed from.
Please, help me, kind sir!
No, I'm sorry, there'll be no help for you here. More hearts of darkness. I don't think Flay works all that good on enemies that don't have flesh. So these skeletons are probably fine. And that skeleton just blew up. That was an explosive skeleton. Okay, treasure chests. Thank you. These boulders are too heavy. We'll have to make a mental note to come back here when we are strong enough. Same thing with this one. Another save point. Is it still raining out?
The world had changed to my eyes. I had not expected such cruelty from the light. For in the embrace of the sun I could find no comfort, only malice. This would change in time for the worse, along with other things. Hunger and weakness are no bar to vengeance's call. I would find my slayers and send them back whence I came.
Yep. Kain came from hell, he's sending them back. Now, these guys are bandits. They're a bit tougher. We can still stun them and then feed from them. Now, that feeding got interrupted, so we don't heal as much.
If we put you down once, we could do it again.
What trickery is this?
It looks like 4 swings.
Their
to stun one
sneering
of them.
faces were forever etched upon my memory. I had crossed death for this moment. My mind was empty save for one thought. I would kill. There is no greater release than that from vengeance sated. With my assassins dead, my quest was over.
Alright, Kain, you did what you came to do. You killed your enemies. It looks like there's a few of them left. Drink up, me hearty.
'Tis not over, Kain. These fools were merely the instruments of your murder, not the cause. Look to their masters, look to the pillars, and gain way to the fortress of the mind.
Well, Tony J is telling us that this is not over. But I think this will do for a first episode. Let's teleport back to our mausoleum. Since we got plenty of health, it doesn't get replenished. So let's just casually walk out. Up. Now, the ghosts of the people that we slayed are attacking us. And if we can stun and feed from a ghost, our magical energy is restored. So that by itself is a pretty good reason to come back. There's even ghost skeletons. Alright, that's going to do it for now. Thank you for watching. I look forward to playing more Blood Omen with you. See you then.